And then I just found out it's in Unreal, and then I found out Unreal is free for indie developers. So it was kind of just a no-brainer to get started. I was like, one guy can make that, even if he's the greatest developer on the planet, then maybe two of us combined can make something that looks half as good as that.
Hello, everyone. I'm John Aljets, and today I'm talking to the devs behind the zombie shooter Safe Inside. Gentlemen, how you doing today?
I'm doing
Pretty good. How's it going?
Well, you know, it's allergy season, so I'm all kinds of stuffed up and probably sounding pretty gross. I apologize to everyone at home for having to hear my voice right now, but that doesn't stop me from being excited to be talking to you guys about this game. I was just browsing YouTube one day, you know, just kind of watching whatever I could find, and I stumbled upon one of your guys' devlogs because you've been posting those to YouTube, and was just immediately like enthralled by the game that I was seeing because it really took me back to my days of playing Left 4 Dead on the Xbox 360 with some of my friends. And I know that in your guys' devlog, you talked about games like Dead Island inspiring you, Hell Divers, of course, Killing Floor, and of course, Left 4 Dead. What differentiates your game, Safe Inside, from those games that came before?
Yeah, if you couldn't tell from what you saw, there's a lot of Left 4 Dead influence there. You can kind of see it in the gameplay, but we kind of wanted to take kind of a more modern twist on it. And we know there's been a huge influx of games recently that have been kind of using like proximity chat as a big part of their gameplay loop. So we wanted to kind of take, you know, the sort of Left 4 Dead formula of like trying to navigate to a safe room with your squad, but add a little twist to it like proximity chat. So we're going to have tons of events. And I, you know, in Left 4 Dead, how like the whole idea of the special infected is to kind of pull you away from your squad. Obviously now this adds another twist because if they pull you away, you can't hear your teammates anymore. So you kind of have to be quicker. You don't know if someone fell behind and they're getting like beat by some sort of mutant person. You have no idea. So that's kind of one of the, I guess, basic changes we made. I don't know, Ed, if you have anything else.
I mean, I think that's the biggest one. That's definitely summarized it well.
And how long have you guys been working on the project so far?
I think it's been a little over 2 years. I think it was like March of 2023 that we started.
What gave you guys that initial spark to get up and actually start doing this?
We were just in a call one night. We were playing something. I forget what game. And
I think it was Counter-Strike. I think Counter-Strike 2 just came out at this time.
Yeah. And Jay saw something on Twitter about Unreal Engine, and he said we should make a game. Like, I think half jokingly, half serious, because like no one just kind of says it and then does it. But then we did do it. Like, we were just like, yeah, let's go for it, see what happens.
I remember one like really specific instance. I don't know if you're familiar with that game that kind of showed a trailer, Unrecorded, from a couple years ago. It was like that hyper realistic Unreal Engine game.
But like,
so I remember it was the body. It was like it did body cam before body cam became this oversaturated game market. It did it when it was like cool. I remember seeing that, and it was like the super hyper realistic graphics and everything. And I was like, oh, this must be made by a studio of thousands of people at the time. And then we found out, I believe it's only made by one main developer. And then I just found out it's in Unreal, and then I found out Unreal is free for indie developers. So it was kind of just a no-brainer to get started. I was like, one guy can make that, even if he's the greatest developer on the planet, then maybe two of us combined can make something that looks half as good as that.
And going with Unreal, I mean, that's not like an easy first engine to really go with as far as like your first big project with that. How have you guys found working in Unreal? Like, is it something that you guys are fighting with, or is it something that is coming to you relatively easily?
They make it very easy to get started in Unreal. Like, you can kind of just pick it up and go. But to actually dive deep into its features and make a very polished game and make everything optimized to be playable, that part gets difficult for sure.
Yeah, I don't think it's Unreal that's the problem. I think it's like the crazy amount of different applications, softwares you use for specific, like, you know, Blender for animation, and getting that to work with Unreal is probably the biggest pain point we've had. Like how we create our characters, putting them in Blender, animating them, and then like you just put in Unreal and things look completely different from what you animated, and that's just that's the biggest challenge. I think Unreal as an engine by itself, I mean, I don't think I've had any personal like real issues, honestly. Like it was learning it was pretty smooth to me.
So you guys showed off in your trailer a couple of the special infected. You had like your typical big tanky guy that, you know, is kind of to be expected. And then you've got I forget what you actually called him in one of the devlogs. I think you gave him like a weird name or something. But the big tall dude who grabs someone by the head and runs with them. What other like is there any other ideas that you're willing to share for maybe some special zombie types that might be more unique?
Yeah, the biggest one we have right now is where we got to figure out how to do it, but some type of guy who like affects the proc chat and either makes it staticky or just makes it break up, like something to just mess with the proc chat and the communication between the players to make it more difficult for them.
Yeah, I think we have a ton of ideas. Like, I mean, we've probably like spitballed like 20 different ideas, but those were the only two that were like far enough along that we wanted to actually show. So a lot of them are still like really early, but we have to figure out with playtest like what works, just what works and what doesn't work. That's what it's going to be about.
Speaking of playtests, how far along are you guys? Like, how close are you guys to having something that people can play, be it a demo or some sort of playtest?
Our goal currently is by the end of this summer to have some sort of package build that we can, give to like close friends to just get initial tests, see if the networking works, see if the base game loop is fun. Like a public demo, I do not have an answer, but maybe something playable, hopefully within 2 months. That's our goal, but I don't think anyone actually makes their timelines on in-game development. There's too many moving parts. It's too complex. It's very hard to just give like, August 1st, it'll be out and ready to play. Like there's no way of knowing.
And working as a two-man team, how are you guys sort of delegating that work? Because a lot of people that I talked to so far have been solo devs where they have to do everything. But how are you guys actually splitting up the workload between the two of you?
The way I like to describe it is Jay does all the stuff to make the game work and all the code, and I do all the design stuff to make the game look good. Like I make mostly all the maps. Jay has dabbled a little bit, and then Jay does all the code stuff, and then everything else we just kind of split between whoever happens to have free time to work on something. Like we've both done animation stuff. We've both done multiple things, but it's mainly I do the design stuff and he does the code stuff.
Yeah. So I guess it's not black and white on who works on what. Like when we were first starting, we had no idea. So like we were all doing everything. We were actually a bigger team when we first started. I think there was like 7 of us maybe in the beginning. Did not last long. I'm kind of glad it didn't last long because everybody likes the idea like, oh, look at all these successful indie games. Let's get all the boys together and create this new studio. It'll be totally fun. And then, once people realize, I got to learn Blender, I got to learn Unreal, like that scares people. But in the beginning, we were just, I don't know, doing anything just to get something that looks like a game. And now it's kind of like, as he said, we have our sections that we're more comfortable with. Like he does map design, I'll do like the coding part. But then in the middle, there's just a huge pool, an endless pool of work that we're just kind of constantly picking from. And
speaking of studios, you guys have named your studio Broken Chair Studios. Where does that name come from? Because that's kind of an odd name.
It's a funny one.
Yeah. So it actually is kind of about Left 4 Dead. Back years ago, it must have been like 2017, 18, something 17, like that. Yeah. Us and 2 other friends played Left 4 Dead LAN at one of our houses, and one of them is very like antsy, moves around a lot, can't sit still, and he broke like 3 different chairs in the process of beating that game. Like he would just shake around and he destroy a chair. It's insane.
So we had like an old picture on Snapchat that I found when we were trying to come up with the game name, because we were stumped on that not the game name, the studio name. we were stumped on that for a while, and we're like, oh, we don't want just like a generic name. We want something that kind of like relates to us personally. So I was kind of going through my Snapchat memories, and then I saw we took a picture of his broken chair and we put like a little sticky note on it, and it says like chair has been broken or something dumb or something. But we're like, this is it. This is perfect. This is what we've been looking for, Broken Chair Studios. And then the actual logo is literally almost identical to the picture of the broken chair that we had. So goofy story, but you know, it's real experience. So we value that more than just some random name.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, it's probably way too early to be even thinking about this, but I do have to ask, do you guys have any thoughts about what might be in your future beyond Safe Inside? Whether it's further like support of Safe Inside through, you know, DLC or add-ons after its release, or maybe a next game after this one. Have you guys given any thought to what might be, even if it's far down the road, what might be down the road?
I think it all depends on how well the game does. Obviously, if there's a player base and they want support, we'll give them support. And we would also like to make more games because it's just fun to make games. Probably something simpler because, you know, try to make something smaller, easier, see how that does. But depending on how the game does, definitely either of those directions is feasible.
Yeah. The reception of the game is like kind of what it comes down to. Like if it has good reception and people like it, like we'll support it. And then, you know, if the time comes to make a second one or something, or just continue to support that and make another title. So I guess to answer your question, we probably don't really know. We've like thought about it, but we're kind of laser focused on Safe Inside for now.
Well, as I said, it is super early, but you know, I got to ask because I know that myself, even when I'm working on a project, my brain is going a mile a minute thinking about all these other things that I could do as well. So it's something that I know, being creative, we're always thinking about that next thing. Speaking of the reception, you guys do have a Discord. And how have you guys found having that community, being able to directly talk to you? Has that at all impacted the development of Safe Inside?
Yeah, I think the feedback you get on Discord compared to like, you know, like say like a YouTube comment or a comment on our TikTok or something is like a little more valuable, because these are people like they go out of their way to join our Discord and, you know, message in our Q&A chat or something. I think there's been plenty of things in there that like if we see a good amount of people saying something, it's like maybe we should actually really consider this as like either a feature or making a change. But I guess it's only existed for like 3 weeks now, 3 or 4 weeks. And neither of us have ever ran a Discord server before. So we're kind of figuring out like interesting ways to, you know, connect with the community while developing and running the socials. So it's a lot.
Definitely is. Marketing is a whole other beast in itself alongside game development. So
that is something that I know that, a lot of the indies that I've talked to recently have said that like marketing and PR has been some of the biggest challenges that they've faced. Besides marketing and PR, what has been the biggest challenge for you guys so far during the development?
We're probably thinking the same thing. I bet we have the same thing. It's what we've actually been doing recently. Right now, currently, and the entire time.
It's just making animations look good between Blender and Unreal, like making everything line up like it looks in Blender, because we personally think the animations in Blender look very good. Not like AAA level, obviously, but they look high quality. And then we haven't quite found the way to just connect them into Unreal and have them stay that high quality.
Yeah, we're having a lot of issues with like setting up a rig that works really well in Blender, which I know a lot of people use. There's like pre-built rigs with the UE5 mannequin in them, but we're using Character Creator for our animations. So for the first person ones, we're kind of like erasing the whole mesh besides just the arms, and just getting that whole rig to work with Rigify. And, you know, well, we have it set up in Blender. It looks great. Animations come out amazing. And then you transfer that to Unreal, kind of like how I said earlier. Once things get in Unreal, things kind of get weird. Total disaster. Like fingers will just be, you know, like extended a little more, and it just kind of throws off the whole thing. Because for first person animations, like it's super close to your camera. You want accuracy. You want to feel like, you know, there's like real, like you're really like reloading or doing whatever, like equipping the weapon. And if things are just kind of sliding and moving weird, it kind of gets rid of that immersion. So I'd say as of across the whole project, we have spent an absurd amount of time trying to get that right.
Yeah.
So last night I was up very late. We almost have a final solution to it, but we're not there yet.
Is there a reason why because I know that the character creator, like that was very, very popular and pretty much everyone was using it. But then when Epic came out with metahumans and everything like that, a lot of people kind of moved over to using using that resource. Is there a reason why you stuck with character creator?
We tried metahumans at first, and I originally made 4 survivors in metahumans, and then just optimization wise and how well I could customize, like you just have more customization in character creator. Metahumans might be up to the standard now. I haven't tested it.
I think it is better now.
Probably a year and a half, but we're just so deep into character creator at this point that I'm just gonna stick with it unless there's like an obvious reason to change.
Like one metahuman, like one would be like running it in like pie mode or something. One metahuman would like, I don't know, like you get 60 frames lower just having one metahuman spawn in, not even animating. There was some serious issues with metahumans. I think it's better now, but we purchased character creator. We use it for all of our infected models and survivor models and like the first person arms for animating. So it would be kind of a waste of time to switch at this point.
Last question that I have for you gentlemen before I let you go get back to working on that. Something that I want to make a habit of asking indie devs, because so many of us obviously we're very, very passionate about games. We, you know, spend all of our free time playing them. We're all about them so much so that we're deciding that we're going to get into actually making them ourselves. You gotta be passionate to be there. Outside of course, your own game. What is a game that you feel like not enough people talk about that you would recommend to people looking for a new game to play?
That's a tough one. There's so many.
Oh, there was one I don't think it's out yet, but I played it, and there was a Steam Next Fest last week. And what was that? Was that called Pigface? Is that the one I said?
Yeah, I think it's Pigface.
Yeah, I've been seeing, he's been having some viral videos on Twitter and everything. It's kind of like one of those PS1 style graphic games, like a first person shooter. And I played the demo. It was probably 45 minutes of Next Fest. And I was like, wow, like I'm kind of like a creature of habit. So I play the same games that I've been playing forever, like Counter-Strike and Left 4 Dead and stuff like that. So like playing a new experience, and it was made by one guy. It was kind of inspiring, even though it's not really similar to what we're doing. Like just his environmental storytelling and the vibe of the game was like, I highly recommend anyone that's into first person games, like just go. There's a free demo on Steam. Go play it right now. It's totally worth.
Yeah, for me, I'd say it's kind of the obvious answer, but the main one that comes to mind right now is Outer Wilds. I mean, obviously, it's not really a niche game. It's kind of niche, but it's still massively popular. I just love those like big story games, even though that's not what we're making. It's good to like make our game, and we make super like fun gameplay and all that, and we focus on the gameplay and prox chat and all those elements and teamwork, and then to just relax, go play a single player game with an amazing story. That's how I like to do things.
So there's some recommendations for you to check out. And of course, check out Safe Inside. I will have a link to the YouTube channel where they're posting all their devlogs. And also I will have a link to their Steam page so you can get over there and wishlist it. Gentlemen, before I let you go, is there any last words that you have for the people at home?
Yeah, thanks for having us on here. What you do is kind of awesome. I checked out your channel when you messaged me a few days ago, and I see that you're kind of giving indie devs like a platform to speak on, and that's pretty rare. So that's pretty awesome of you. So we appreciate you reaching out, and it's been a great chat. Thanks for showing interest in the game.
Yep.
And thank you again, man.
That's about it. Just thanks. This is cool. Good experience.
Yeah. Well, once again, thank you guys. Get over there, check it all out, and yeah, I'll see you next time.